Hello everyone, Alexa Donne here, and today I am sharing 10 tropes, essentially romance tropes, that I am total trash for. These are the tropes that you'll find in fanfic, so much fanfic, romance novels, and so on, that just melt me every time. If I know that this trope is in a book or a movie or a TV show, I'm a goner. I will swoon, squee, etc. over it without fail. And of course I also like to rate some of these, and even making this list I was like, you have failed at your job by not putting all of these in your books already. So I have goals, I have things I have to do and accomplish. So let me get into the tropes. Number 1 is drunken confessions. Oh, do I love drunken confessions, and generally do I love using drunkenness as a plot device, which is kind of concerning given I write YA, and every time my editor's like, they're teenagers, right? And I'm like, well then they're European teenagers, because drunken confessions, love it. I've definitely done this one. There's just something about like the lowered inhibitions moment, and you have these two characters who have just been circling each other for an entire story, and then it just kind of like blurts out, tumbles out. I love that moment. It just, makes my heart just go poof. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And really you'll notice a theme with some of these. They all kind of are tropes that work really well with UST, unresolved sexual tension, which is my favorite kind of, that in and of itself is kind of a romance trope. But it's not on this list. I'm kind of doing the hyper-specific tropes for this one, but it's all about UST for me. And so number 2 is enemies to lovers, the classic. The classic. This is probably one of the most popular romance tropes, fanfiction tropes for sure, which of course means that I like kind of those, slightly villainous bad boys. It's the Elizabeth Darcy, it's the Draco anyone, it's Kylo Ren and Rey, though I have other Kylo ships that I'm not gonna get into, but you know what I mean. Enemies to lovers is a classic. You have the inherent conflict of two people who don't like each other, and then you build the entire story around them falling in love. Love it, love it, love it. Just absolute garbage trash for it. The third trope I'm just garbage for. Having to fake date for plot reasons. Kind of nestled in under this is like having to fake marriage for plot reasons, but let's talk about YA, fake dating for plot reasons. Love it. This is Way to All the Boys I've Loved Before was so freaking good. It was so freaking good on so many levels, but fake dating for plot reasons, I adore it. I love it. I need to write it, to be honest. Why do I love this? Again, it's just inherent with good romantic conflict, because as opposed to enemies to lovers, this one starts off with like, okay, we have to pretend to be in a relationship, though we either don't like each other or we don't feel that way about each other. And then it's about a series of hijinks or events that basically ratchets up the romantic tension. Who doesn't love that moment in the fake dating for plot reasons trope where there's like the first true romantic spark moment, she falls into his arms, or when they have to kiss to keep up the pretense of the relationship. Favorites, just favorites. Number 4 is, truly me being a garbage human, and I don't even really care, and that is forbidden romance among non-related siblings. And what I mean by this is step-siblings and or adopted siblings. And there have been a few stories that have done this, and I hate myself for liking it, but I do. There's something about the hot step-sibling. I don't know, I like it. Cody Keplinger did this in a book, and most recently The 1000th Floor had this. Let me tell you, when I got to I think it was really clear in chapter 2 or 3 that this was gonna be a trope in the book, I almost screamed out loud in an airport, because you don't see it very often, and I'm like, I know I'm a terrible person, but I love this trope, and it's the forbidden romance aspect of it, but they're not actually related. That's the really important thing. But they are forced to live in a familial relationship, and so they can't admit their feelings, they can't act on them, etc. And then within this trope, you always have the point where they do, and then it's keeping secrets, and I don't know, I really like that conflict. But don't worry, they're not actually related. That's the key point of this trope for me. It's that they're not related, but they're step-siblings or adopted siblings or what have you. I should be ashamed of that one, but I don't know, it's a good romance trope. Number 5, clubs and bar scenes. Is this a trope? I've decided it's a trope. It certainly is in fanfiction. This is one of my favorite ones, so it's like bartender Draco or what have you. I love scene sets in bars or dance clubs where, again, you are ratcheting up romantic tension. It's, you know, ordering the drink from the bar and you have the wise bartender who, well, maybe you flirt with them, but, you know, who comments on the relationship, and you have the moment at the bar where the couple who has tension in their relationship for whatever reason, whether it's enemies to lovers or fake dating for plot reasons, where they have like kind of a meaningful conversation. Sometimes those drunk confessions will happen in those scenes. I just love it. I'm calling it a trope because I am. I have definitely used this one repeatedly in fanfiction and in my published work. My next book has this in it. Because I don't know, there's something about the setting of a bar or a club that I really enjoy, and the bold irony is, do I like bars and clubs in real life? No, I do not. Don't like going to them. Don't like engaging in any of these things in real life, but in fiction, it's my kryptonite. 6 is a trope / cheap plot device, but I can't help it, I like it, and it is when like the character overhears a conversation they're not supposed to. I love using that as a writer, and as a reader / viewer, I love how that makes me feel, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he or she is saying that, or ooh, they're not supposed to hear this, or what are they gonna do with this piece of information? I just really kind of love that. Spying on people and overhearing what you're not supposed to. I just love it for romance and ratcheting up tension. 7 is a character trope. I can't help it. I like the ostensibly bad but secretly ooey gooey, vulnerable on the inside guy. I can't help it. I like this. Now, I don't like bad guys who are actually bad guys, so if a guy is kind of an abusive douchebag, not into it. But it's the, you think he's like a bad guy, but yeah, it's the secretly ooey gooey, vulnerable insides. And I especially love this in enemies to lovers, of course, because a lot of these things go together. I can't help it though. I love that romance trope. It, of course, has to be done well, but when it is, favorites. I mean, really, Darcy counts as this. Darcy's definitely like, he seems haughty and terrible, but he's secretly ooey gooey on the inside. And really, now that I think about it, so many of my favorite tropes are from Pride and Prejudice. The things we love when we're younger are very formative, aren't they? Between like this and Buffy and Harry Potter, it explains so much about my life. Number 8, trapped in a snowstorm / have to huddle for warmth. These things usually go together. Or like, you know, someone's fallen in an icy river and you have to huddle for warmth. I actually can trace the genesis of why I like this one. It's random, but it's true. This is from the movie The Saint, that really not great Val Kilmer movie from the 90s. This trope happens in that. And I don't know, I loved it. Little 9 or 10-year-old me, however old I was like, oh, it's so romantic. Oh, and tension. Oh my gosh. And then this is a trope that is used in many other things, and I just love it. I love it. I really need to put that one in my book, because there's just something about the life and death stakes of someone's gonna freeze to death, so someone has to take off their clothes, and there has to be close skin-to-skin contact. I'm just garbage for it. I love it. It's great. Number 9 is kind of similar to huddling for body warmth, but without hypothermia / freezing to death, and that is characters sharing a bed without sex. So it's like that moment in Anna and the French Kiss where they share a bed and they do the head to toe thing. I don't know, it just melts me from the inside out. I love that kind of, it's intimate but non-intimate bed sharing. I love it. It works especially well in YA romance or chaste romance. I don't know, I just love how it's like the building romantic feelings and one partner respecting the boundaries of another partner, or mutual respect of each other's boundaries. I don't know, it's sweet and it's romantic and I love it. And number 10, I love 7 minutes in heaven / trapped in a closet and things happen. That trope is the best. Loved this one in Harry Potter fanfiction. Love this one in other fiction. Again, I made this list and was like, why haven't I done this in a book? I need to do this in a book. Generally speaking, just as a trope, I love kind of children's games that are made kind of a little bit, not sexual, but like romantic and have ratcheted up romantic tension when teens or adults play them. So I also love spin the bottle scenes and truth or dare constructions, but there's something special about 7 Minutes in Heaven. I especially love it when the trope is turned on its head and it's two people in the closet and nothing happens except kind of intense emotional attachment, like a sweet or a sizzling emotional moment happens in the closet. I don't know, I love it. There's just something about kind of the extreme situation of a lot of these tropes, whether, you know, snowstorms and huddling for warmth, sharing a bed because there's only one bed, or trapped in a closet. I know, I like all of the kind of conflict undercurrent of a lot of these tropes, and they all facilitate sizzling, growing romance really, really well. So those are the 10 tropes, especially in romance, that I'm just garbage for. Trash human. Love them. They get me every single time. So what are your favorite trash tropes in fiction, fan fiction, romance, whatever? I'm really curious what yours are, because it's so funny when we sit down to actually think about the tropes that get us, and then we realize, oh, that's a trope that gets me. Some of these are way less obvious than others, you know, that we just kind of giggle and turn into a mess over. So I told you mine, so what are yours? Give this video a thumbs up, and I'm sure I can come up with more tropes that I melt for, make more tropey type videos for you. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. I post new videos 2 to 3 times a week. Thank you so much for watching. I really had fun with this one, you know, talking about the tropes that get me giddy. And as always, guys, happy writing, happy reading, happy trope loving, etc.